Hello everyone, I'm Jasmine Sidhu and I welcome you all to my English channel. So hey my lovely audience, I'm back today with a new video, and in this new video, I have taken up the explanation of chapter 7 of Beehive book prescribed by CBSE for class 9 students. The name of the chapter is Packing and it has been penned down by Jerome K.Jerome. Now let's have a quick look at the life of the author first. Jerome, he was born on 2nd May 1859 in England. He was an English writer and humorist, best known for his comic travelogue, Three Men in a Boat. And we'll see over here that chapter packing is an extract from this very novel, Three Men in a Boat. In 1926, Jerome published his autobiography, My Life and Times. Eventually, he passed away on 14 June 1927 in United Kingdom. So now let me give you a brief introduction of the chapter. As I told you, this chapter is an extract from the novel Three Men in a Boat, and it forms one of the chapters of the novel. Now this chapter, it is basically a humorous extract about the confusion and mess created by the people who are inexperienced in the art of packing. Over here, Jerome, he's trying to give us two important messages. The first one is that we people, we think that normal routine tasks are very easy. But he's trying to tell us that routine tasks are not easy as they seem to be. And another important point he's trying to bring out, that if we have a pet, we should ensure that it should be well trained. We'll see over here that all the characters which are involved over here in the chapter, they think that they are the best packers in the world. But eventually we'll come to know through this extract that they were actually disorganized, unplanned, foolish, careless, and unsystematic, and in reality, they couldn't even pack a single thing properly. So, let me introduce the characters to you all. So, our author Jerome is the narrator over here, and the entire gamut of the events are depicted from his point of view. He is overconfident and rates his packing skills a bit too high. Then George and Harris, they are the friends of Jerome. Both of them, they are clumsy, ill-organized, forgetful, and casual as Jerome only. But again, both of them, they also carry the air on their head that they are very good packers. Now, another important character over here is Montmorency. Montmorency is a dog, and he's a very ambitious dog. He likes to be a part of all the activities going on in the house and gets excited to see George and Harris doing the packing. He's super energetic dog, and no amount of scolding dampens his enthusiasm. He's a perfect nuisance and make people mad and have things thrown at his head. Then he feels that his day has not been wasted. So that's the dog. Now how the story starts. The story begins with these three friends planning out for a journey. They were planning to undertake a journey, and from there the point of packing started actually. Now the important task of packing was basically for that journey, and Jerome boasted about his packing skills, and he took the charge of packing, and he announced to his friends that I do the packing, but his real intention was to make George and Harris do the packing under his supervision and guidance. But his friends took him seriously, and they stretched themselves comfortably on the chair, and they observed Jerome doing the packing. Though Jerome was irritated with this attitude of his friends, but because he has boasted, so he has to undertake the packing. So he started with the packing, and after a long session of packing, he finally strapped the bag. Now, at that point, Harris, typically like a friend, he pointed it out that, did you pack the boots? And Jerome, he got conscious and he actually looked. He had not packed the boots. So he again unstrapped the bag. He put the shoes inside the bag, and when he strapped it. At that particular point, he got the horrible idea that what about my toothbrush? Because that was like a nightmare for him. Every time, whenever he was traveling, this was one thing which either he used to pack, you know, before the journey and morning he used to take it out and again carry it in a handkerchief and run for the journey, or some or the other things used to happen with him regarding toothbrush. So again he started unpacking the stuff, and it was 18 times when he found Harris and George's toothbrush, but he couldn't find his toothbrush. Eventually, when he started taking out the things one by one, then he found his toothbrush was inside a boot. Again, he packed it out, and then, typical like a friend, George, he now pointed out that what about the soap? At that point, he was so irritated that he didn't reply only to him, and he wasn't bothered whether he has kept the soap or no. He completed the packing, but then again he found that accidentally he has packed his spectacles also inside the bag. So it was the third time he was unpacking, and eventually he took out the stuff again, out, and he found his spectacles, and then he packed the stuff again at 10:05 p.m. Actually, he was over with the packing. So now it was the turn of George and Harris to pack the hampers. Jerome, he told that I have done my task, now it's your job to pack these edible items into the hampers and you can commence with your packing. So now the skills of George and Harris are further explained. At the outset, when they started packing the hampers, there came breaking of the cup first. So they broke the cup, and when they started actually packing Harris, he was packing the lighter stuff at the bottom and he was keeping the heavy stuff on the top. So accidentally he squashed a tomato, right? Because it was pressed at the bottom, and then with a spoon they were taking out the pulp of the tomato. Then George, when it was the turn of George, he got up and he trotted over the butter, right? And the butter cake was stuck at his slippers. And then he tried to take it out. Harris helped him out, and then they tried to squeeze this butter cake into the kettle, but they couldn't do it, so they kept it on the chair. Then Harris, on the other side, he was packing the pies. Again, he kept it at the bottom and he kept the heavy things on top of the pies. As a result, the pies were smashed. Salt was all over the hamper. They didn't screw the lid nicely, tightly, so it sprinkled all over the hamper and it was a total chaos. Now, when they were looking for the butter to pack, they forgot that they have kept the butter on the chair, and accidentally Harris he sat over that butter, and then another next few minutes they kept on looking for the butter everywhere, and when Harris turned, George saw that it was stuck at his back. So he pulled out the butter from there, and now they packed it into a teapot, and finally the butter was packed. Now, amidst all this chaos which was happening over there came the entry of the dog Montmorency. He was so excited that both the boys they are doing the packing. So he jumped inside the hamper. Accidentally, his one of the leg it went into the jam. So they were actually cheesed off. Then he located the lemons and he assumed that these lemons were rats, and actually he killed three of the lemons, assuming that they were the rats. Seeing all this, both the boys, George and Harris, they were actually losing their temper, and eventually Harris he just took the frying pan and he shooed away Montmorency from that scene. At that point of time, Montmorency was satisfied that somebody actually has looked at him. And finally, at 12:50, packing of the hampers, it was over. They were not aware what will be safe and what will be broken in the hamper, but finally they were over with the hamper, and then they decided to sleep. So they went upstairs to sleep. Now that night, three of them they have to sleep on the same bed. Then again, the waking hour confusion started because over here, one of them, he said that we'll wake up at 7 o'clock, but Jerome, he told that we'll wake up at 6. Why? Because he had to write some letters before leaving for the journey. So they couldn't come to any conclusion. So ultimately, they found a midway and they decided that 6:30 a.m. we'll finally get up and start with our journey. And with this, they went off to sleep. So that's all in this chapter, children. I hope you might have liked the explanation. And if you have liked the video, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much.